Hi everybody. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Looks like everything is a go on my end here. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. And yep, all things look in the green here. So if there's an issue, let me know. Mina, you got it. Thanks for letting me know that you see me and hear me. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to take a minute here and say hi to everybody. So, hi Mina. Thank you for the warm welcome. That's lovely. Hi Estella. Hi Lisa. And happy Thanksgiving as well. Let's see. Hi Rhonda. Hi Vivian. Thank you so much. I appreciate your condolences. It has been a very stressful 2 months at the very least, and the last one was even more so. For those of you that are kind of new here, my grandmother at 98 years old, she passed over this last month, decline and then passed, and so we got her put to rest 2 days before Thanksgiving, so I made the big Thanksgiving meal to kind of offer that to the family after the funeral. So it was a difficult but good time to see family. And unfortunately, that chapter, an amazing chapter, has closed. My grandmother was an amazing person and left a true legacy, and we will try to honor that as best we can moving forward. So been very, very difficult. So and then I had my craft fair, my annual craft fair on last Friday set up, and then the craft fair was Saturday, so it was right between my grandmother's passing and then the funeral. So it has been very, very difficult, these especially these last few weeks. So I appreciate everybody's support and understanding during this time where I've been a little bit more inaccessible as far as not being on our paid platform or social media or really anywhere. I've just been so overwhelmed with all of that. So I really appreciate all your support, and I'm looking forward to getting back into wood burning, and very excited to see Mr. Squirrel. Hopefully we can get this wrapped up tonight, and that'd be lovely. All right, yeah, I do see that everybody's name is looking different, and I do believe it must be a YouTube thing, but everybody looks pretty good so far. I don't know why the names have changed a little bit, but hi, Mellow Yellow. Good to see you too, Lisa. Hi, Steve. Hi, June. Hi, Kendale. Canine Artist 1. That must be Terry. I think, yep, Terry. Alrighty. I'll do my best here with the new names. I'm not sure why they're different, but we'll hang in there. So, okay. We left off 2 weeks ago with, we really reworked Mr. Squirrel. We added a lot more of those dark values in the tail fluff. I'm still really trying to push the dark values here in this circle element to try to push those back. That'll make Mr. Squirrel come more to the front. And I think one of the things that I want to start off with while we're kind of meeting and greeting and chatting and all that is I really want to get this background, this black background, blocked in and finished. And then that's going to be definitely the more time-consuming element of tonight. And based on the temperature of the burners and how they're acting, I might jump around a little bit and start working on some leaves and whatnot. But Mr. Squirrel is looking pretty good. After taking a look at the reference photo here, I do want to rework this eye. You can see here, I think it needs to be a fair bit darker, and we'll draw out some of those darker values in there as well. And as far as whiskers go, I'm not going to burn around them. We can maybe scratch those in later. It's not really a big deal on that one. So, hi Steve. We're doing okay. So that's about as the best we can do right now. All right, let me see which way I want to go with this. I think we're going to probably go upside down, and I'll kind of jump around between the burners. And if you're new here and you're wondering about burning black backgrounds, you're in luck, because that's what we're going to do tonight. So anytime that I burn a black background, I'll flip this back around really quick. You can see that I'll start with kind of a dark outline that's a little bit of a heat buffer for me. And then I'll come back in and I'll make that outline a little bit chunkier and a little bit thicker, because the point that I use is kind of hard to get into these little nooks and crannies. So I want a nice big buffer zone, kind of like a moat if you're in the castle kind of a mindset. And that black moat will protect these areas of these lighter leaves from being like over scorched or accidentally kind of burned, or you can get some ghosting where, like right here, I have a beautiful contrast between the dark of the background and the very light of the leaves. That's by doing my border, bigger border, kind of a moat idea. It protects your lighter areas from that accidental heat transfer. But if I were just to come in here and burn really dark next to these light values, you could see kind of an orangey glow. And if you like the orangey glow, that's totally fine. You don't have to do everything my way. Find a way that works best for you. But when I'm doing more realistic work, I do like to try to avoid that ghosting and overburn if I can. So I'll be working with the Walnut Hollow Creative Versus tool and the shading point, and I'm going to be laying this shading point flat on the wood and burning in vertical strips. That seems to make everything tie together a little bit more. So we'll burn in more columns, and I want to burn with the wood grain. So when I lay out a project, generally I have the wood grain going kind of up and down instead of side to side. You don't have to, that's totally fine. Some pieces of wood you can't really, you're kind of stuck with the layout. But the more that you can burn with the grain, the smoother everything will be for sure. And I'm using just that back heel to transfer that heat on. I want to go nice and slow. I'm going to go up and down in kind of the same area. And then I want to go over and back just to make sure that I get a nice, true dark value, the darkest that I can get. If you press down with the point and you leave it there too long, it can kind of stick to the wood, and then when you move, it pulls off the wood. So as ironic as it seems, or maybe counterintuitive, to burn these black backgrounds, you want like a medium-high heat. With a solid point burner, you want a high heat. But if you're using a wire tip burner, then you want more of a medium type of heat, because if you go too hot too quickly on these black backgrounds, you can lift off that top surface of the wood and it pulls off, and then it sticks to your burner and it's a little bit of a gunky mess. So I used to think, yay, I have a wire tip burner and I can burn everything super fast. And you can, but there is definitely a trade-off as far as time spent. You can burn faster, darker, but sometimes it's not as smooth or even. So just take that into consideration depending on what your goals are. Terry, you have no idea where the one came from in your name. It could be that there's some other people out there that have that same YouTube name. I don't know. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate your condolences. Mellow Yellow says the username changes are YouTube's doing. You can go into your settings and change it though. That would be cool. Hi, Larry. Yeah. Sorry, guys, about YouTube changing your names. It's kind of odd. Hello, Steppy Two Shoes. Welcome. YouTube has done a few weird things with your usernames here. Kind of change things up. So if you want to toss out another name, a nickname, whatever you want us to call you by, feel free to do that. Thank you, Estella, for your thoughts and support as well. Yeah, it was difficult to do the craft fair. I was not able to help out the family and that very important time, but I was helping out pretty much all the other times as much as I could to prepare for my grandmother's funeral. Okay, so that point seems to be cooling down a little bit. I'm going to switch over to another one that I have going because I usually try to burn with at least 3 burners at the same time, especially when I'm working on these black backgrounds. You just need, well, you don't need, you can burn black backgrounds with only 1 burner. You just need to take a little bit more time. I prefer to have 3 burners going at once. One is a little bit of a smaller point, so I can kind of get in the nooks and crannies a little better. Let's see. Lisa, you didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here in the last couple weeks, but they definitely changed the how everybody appears, which is interesting. Hi. I don't know, Terry. It could be like Canine Artist was taken, and when you applied for that, you were the second one to get it, and so then you would be Canine Artist 1, perhaps. So we are trying to get the black background blocked in on this project. It's going to really change the appearance and dynamics of everything. But we're trying to close in on this project, and I think that this is really something that we need to get done. Based on the burners and their temperature, I will jump around a little bit here and there. But we're going to try to really focus on this black background because it's a definite key element. Okay, we have been reconnected. Thank you very much. Yeah, Larry, everybody, I'm so sorry that all your names are kind of a little bit scrambled, and that's pretty weird. Hey, if somebody could do like an internet search or talk to those AI platforms like ChatGPT, they're pretty handy. Grok, they might know why all of a sudden your names have been changed on YouTube. And they're similar, but a little bit different. And maybe, that gives you guys a little something to kind of take a look at while we're burning these black backgrounds. One of the wonderful things about the craft fair is that I did last Saturday is I did take a lot of my smaller original wood burnings. I sold, I don't know, maybe half a dozen. Oh, Steppy Two Shoes is Night Owl. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, welcome. Anyway, the craft fair, I did sell maybe half a dozen small wood burnings, but it was really neat to talk to people, and there were more people there that were artists that were interested in wood burning than I thought there would be. So I had a lovely opportunity to chat with, 6 or 7 people about wood burning, and told them about the weekly classes, and encouraged them to take a look, and invited them to join us. So hopefully we'll see somebody, some of those newer peoples that are finding their way here to the class. It is the day after Thanksgiving, so they may have forgot too, so, and I understand that. We've been trying to get our newest solar panel array set up before the ground freezes and we get snowed in. So we've been working on that a lot in between, all the arrangements, which is a lot. Trying to take care of all kinds of things and race the weather. So I am going to just keep filling in some of these tighter areas here, while those other 2 shading points tend to heat back up a little bit. So we'll jump it around a little bit. Okay, Mina says, go to YouTube, Studio, and then Customization, and Basic Information, and check your channel name. Good to know. And YouTube could be having a glitch or something right now too. It's definitely a possibility. Larry's having pumpkin pie. Oh, that sounds lovely. Yeah, we had our Thanksgiving meal on Tuesday, so I'm not quite a zombie, I think, as I would have been if we ate yesterday. Lisa, you kind of changed yours. Cool. Oh, that sounds lovely, Larry. Lisa, you are the only Lisa Hammond. That is awesome. I don't know if mine has changed. I don't know. It could have changed. Wood Burning University, is it still the same, or do I have numbers too? This little point is doing just fine as far as getting into these kind of tighter areas. And if you wind up getting making mistakes on these leaves and you get maybe cut in too far, that's okay. Just kind of reshape the leaves if you need to. Another thing for anybody that is joined in new for the live stream, and if you want to comment in the chat like you see other people doing, please make sure that you are signed into a YouTube account, and then you can chat. But you have to have a username in order to chat. Not my rules, but YouTube's. Sorry. So I am going a little bit fast here, but I'm still trying to use light pressure. I don't want to press down really hard. It's not the end of the world if you do press down hard. It just will kind of indent the wood a little. Not a big deal. I like the surface of the wood to be a little smoother if I can, but totally up to you. Wood is so cool because the combination of the wood burner and I'm going over wood burning tool and the wood is quite soft, and you can get in there and create some really neat textures where you actually modify the surface of the wood. Right now this is all pretty smooth, but you can totally change that if you'd like. Okay. Looks like people are trying to figure out how to adjust your user names. And I hope that everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I know not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, but hopefully you still had a very lovely day. Hopefully you were able to get together with family and spend some good time together. So I know that we were talking 2 weeks ago about after we finish Mr. Squirrel, and we are going to do some color options. I know the steampunk peacock was a big one. Anyway, so I'll get geared up. Hopefully we can finish this guy tonight. This background just takes a while. But that's true to the art form. It just really takes a little bit of time. And I'm a bit overexposed. Let me adjust that for you. Okay, maybe that'll kind of calm things down. So it looks like we're still having troubles changing our username. Yeah, it's like, I wonder, Mina, do you want to, I don't know, maybe take a look and see if it's something on my end? I don't think that I have changed anything different as far as why would a public live stream all of a sudden change the way that the viewers are named. Bands. Click on this. Yeah, I'm not sure on how to do that. Seems like everything's been working pretty fine until tonight. Everybody's names got adjusted. Okay, yeah, it is the handle. Oh, Larry, you got yours. Okay, cool. So it sounds like there is a workaround here. I am creating a little bit of smoke with this. Certainly not enough to really, bother my lungs or anything. We seem to be just plugging right along here. I do need to make a bigger buffer there. Vivian says it's the Grinch. Okay. June says it's not on my end, that YouTube is trying different things out for the past month. Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's been a couple weeks since we've got together here. All right, so we'll just make that buffer a little bit bigger. Widen the moat a little bit here. know we've talked about kind of darkening in and around some of the little fluffy texture here. So I'm going to start darkening in between the sketches that we made for that tail fur. Night owl. Okay, cool. You got yours taken care of too. Mina says it's not on my end. You tried to change your name back and a message popped up saying your old handle was taken. Interesting. I think it's starting to snow. You have to change your handle name. Okay, that's good to know, Night Owl. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit here and there, trying to get a little bit more of this buffer zone in place. Mellow Yellow says YouTube's been making a lot of changes and that saving videos to folders on mobile is a headache. Oh dear. Sorry to hear that. And for those of you that are new here, as Mina mentioned, definitely hit the like button if you find this information helpful. We're definitely kind of just finishing up this project here and putting in this black background, which they take a little bit of time, but I'm really motivated to finish this project tonight, and I will do my very best to do so, because I know that we have several projects that we've been wanting to add color to, and I think it's about time that we do that. Over the past couple years, we've added all kinds of different color to wood burnings, including acrylic paint, watercolors, colored pencils, sparkly watercolor paints. Trying to think of what else I've done live, and those are a lot of fun. So it's always neat to try out different types of color and different mediums to see what's possible with wood burning. And there is a lot that you can do, which is pretty fun. Okay, so just to keep things kind of fun and interesting, let's work on some of these leaves while we're here and just kind of try to bounce around and get stuff kind of finished up. So here's our reference photo right there. We're going to work on these leaves here a little bit. So in this case, I'm just going to use the upper part of that shading point, kind of follow the contour of the leaf, and then leave a little bit of a gap for like the vein of the leaf. And I didn't get these done last time because it's kind of a difficult angle. I try not to turn the wood too much to make you guys kind of dizzy with me moving stuff all the time. But definitely turn the wood to make it easier for what you need to do. And then I really like the idea of pushing the leaves that are kind of in the distance, pushing those values a bit darker. That'll create some separation between this leaf and that one and make this leaf that I'm burning now appear farther away, or like it's overlapped a little bit. Oh boy, Terry says that you tried typing in my name with the @ in front of it. It doesn't even come up. Oh boy, that's kind of scary. Hopefully my channel hasn't been hidden. I guess I'll have to look into that after the live stream as well and see if they've changed my name, which would be interesting and kind of sad. I know a lot of you guys have. Oh, there, you found me, Mina. Yay! Okay. It's Minisa Wood Burning University. Huh, interesting. Okay. Thank you for finding me, Mina. Yeah, it looks like that. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe we can yell at YouTube and they'll change it back. So I think I want to make this leaf recede in the distance just a little bit more. So I'm going to darken it as it comes around this one here. And we can always kind of tweak and adjust these values a little bit later if we need to. Let's definitely push these darks as they overlap another item to create that wonderful definition and kind of that pop 3D effect. No, please don't jump up here. Go that way. Thanks, Mina. Yep, we'll just keep kind of working on the depth here in these leaves. Get that overlapping effect. Oh, Terry, you found it. Oh, good. Cool. You're getting your name readjusted. Gonna push this just a little bit darker here. And that vein should also be shaded a little bit as it kind of tucks in and behind that acorn. Night Owl, yeah, the change in the names is unsettling. Lisa, you're not getting color when somebody tags your name. It's so interesting, and YouTube is being really bad tonight. I'm sorry, guys. So looking here, as far as trying to finish some areas up, I see that we need to apply a little bit of a, come on, shadow. Get my stuff together here, guys. Okay, right in here where our border kind of tucks behind these leaves. So let's put that in. And then pull that gradient downward to give it a little bit more of a faded, kind of a blended look to it. And same thing here. Because see, right now I have this harsh outline of the leaf. And I did that because I know I'm going to shade all this in, but I haven't got to it yet. So let's take care of that really quick. And same thing here. We'll start pulling this away from the leaf. So we're close, but you can still see that heavy outline. So I will just pull the darkness a little bit more away from that edge. And that will help to make the leaf look a little more natural in its environment. That's better. Okay. Mellow yellow. Yeah, I think YouTube does have a lot of things it needs to work on here. Oh, that's a neat idea, Larry. That's very cool. All right, I'm just taking a look at what else I can do from this position here. Okay. Let's do a little bit more on that background. I think we're going to do that here. Try to fill this in. So here's a good example of that ghosting, if you can kind of see where it's a little bit kind of orangish fuzzy there. And that's fine in the big black field, but I don't want to overscorch my lighter leaves. And also for those people that are new here tonight, please know that the chat that we have going on is very fluid and very fun. We talk about all kinds of different things. Tonight it's trying to figure out our usernames. A lot of times we talk about pets and animals and other things that we're doing and projects that we're involved in. But please know that if you have a specific question for wood burning at any time, throw that out there in the chat and I will address that live. That's one of the perks here of our YouTube live streams. So don't forget that that's an option. A lot of times I'll just turn over the whatever project that I'm working on and kind of do some doodles and techniques on the back just to show you if you have a specific question or you're struggling with a certain technique or different points. definitely throw that information out there. And if I get distracted and I miss your question, you can either ask again, or somebody will probably see it in there and yell at me that, hey, you forgot to answer this question, and that's totally fine. Larry's gonna go deer hunting in the morning. Oh, I hope that you get one. That's very exciting. I wish you good luck. Thanks, Mina. Yeah, the black background is looking pretty good, especially on camera. It's kind of a bit splotchy for my taste, but moving fast, and I can always, you can always go back over it and hit it again. Just be aware that you need to move the burner maybe a little bit faster since the wood has already been burnt. It's easy to kind of stick to the wood with the burner, so we'll just kind of jump around here and make sure that we keep on working on this black background. There's really not much along the side, so I think that that will go pretty quickly. I'll have to get that little piece from a different angle because of the way that I use the shading point. Night owl, you fell asleep tonight. Oh, you woke up at 8:10 and you didn't miss the live stream. Oh, glad that you're here. Lisa says you're doing a your church logo on a 4-foot round circle. Oh boy, that is big. You need to figure out if anybody can help you turn that pattern. Oh, help you turn it into a pattern. You have the PNG. That's cool. Lisa, if you want to send that to me, I can probably help you out. I know I have a list of things that I've not taken care of yet, but I know you're still waiting on a pattern, but that should be pretty easy for me to turn that into like a line art, especially if how do I say this? Are you having a challenge taking the logo and blowing it up to a 4x4 foot project without it going grainy and fuzzy? I used to take things like that and logos and whatever and turn them from a rasterized image into a vector-based image, and then the vector-based image, you can make it bigger or smaller and it won't you won't lose the quality. You could blow it up, and put it on the side of a building and it would still have the same quality. It won't go fuzzy if you make them vector-based. So I have experience doing that. Lisa, you don't know. You haven't even attempted to do that on your computer. You figured it would take a lot of pieces of paper. Okay. And you don't know how to piece that together. Is there a way to do that? Yes, that would be, Lisa, what I could do, if you send that to me, I can print off, or I can make a copy of the logo, make sure it's clear, and then if you put, or you could do it yourself if you want to, you can put kind of a grid work underneath, like a light value grid work, and then when you print it off on your printer, you just need to make sure you match up your grid lines, and that will help to get your logo pieced back together, if that makes sense. A vector-based image, Larry, is where the art is made with just lines instead of pixels. So if it's rasterized, you're going to have dots. Like if you zoom way in, you see dots. If it's vector-based, you zoom way in and you just see a line. So it's just a little bit of a different type of file creation. Yeah, Lisa, that's actually pretty easy. That wouldn't take me very long at all to do that. But I'm thinking we'll just turn it into a vector-based image, and then I can throw a grid underneath it, size it for 4 feet. And you say it's a 4-foot circle? Yeah, that would be a pretty easy thing for me to do. And then I can send you the file, and it should already be sized right, and then you can just print it off. Okay. Alrighty, we're getting there, guys, on Mr. Squirrel. Let's see, I forgot this little bit up here. But yeah, that is a pretty easy fix there, Lisa. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Let's work on some leaves as well. How about we come down here and take a look at these leaves. Terry says you wish you knew how to enlarge things. Yeah, you know, there's lots of different classes out there as far as different platforms like Photoshop. It kind of depends on what platform that you're using as far as how to do these things. Ken Dale is trying to post a picture on the Mighty Networks feed, but the image will not show up in the post. Okay, Mina says that to Ken Dale, please try to upload it in the community section, because there are different... No, you can't jump up here. Who's in the kitchen?
Me.
Get the cat.
Which one?
The black one that was trying to leap on my desk. Okay, all right, that's fine. She can go up there. Thank you. I looked down and she's like ready to jump. Oh my gosh. Crazy kitty. Thank you. All right, so next we are putting in some of our vein structure on the next leaf. And then we'll burn around those. Let's see. Mina says we had 2 new members to the Bear Den yesterday. Awesome. I hope they join us tonight as well. Sounds great. Yep, my kitty is she's trying to jump right up on top of the wood burners, which is not good. Okay, so I have just some lines in there to help kind of block in our veins on the leaves. And then we're going to burn a simple gradient. So darker at the top, lighter towards the bottom. In between those little vein areas. And if you happen to overburn them a little bit and you can't see them very well, you can always go back and scratch those out with a sharp pointy thing, and that'll work just fine too. So there's just kind of some light shading. Next, we can go back in and darken up a little more here, especially where the leaf tucks underneath that acorn. Hi. No. You stay down. No. Help. You can't. Take her to your brother's room, please.
You're being a troublemaker.
She is. She's cute, though.
She is.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
Come on.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
mild protesting. Thank you. Yes, that sounds fantastic. I love that we're growing as well. All right, pulling these darks down a little. Thank you, dear.
Yep.
And I can even add a little touch of dark down here, like if the leaves are curling downward, just a smidgen. That's kind of a fun way to do that too. Yes, thanks, Vivian. Catastrophe was averted. Yeah, and she's super fluffy, our cat, and she wants to just jump up here, and it's not a good idea. Hi there, Clive. Welcome. I am using the Walnut Hollow Creative Versatool and the shading point for what I'm working on tonight. I like it because the solid point burner like this, I think, tends to have a little bit more of an even, consistent heat. It does not get as hot as a wire tip burner with the removable interchangeable pens, but I do love the consistent heat with this type of tool. Unfortunately, this company that makes this has recently gone out of business, but there are other solid point burners on the market that act very similar. And otherwise, if you want something that has a higher temp, you can go with like the razor tip system or a Coalwood, a Detail Master. There's several on the market. So pretty much just the difference between a solid point like this burner and then the one that has the electrical current that runs through something like this. Those are your main two types of burners. And each of them are great. They each have their own uses and benefits, pros and cons. So sometimes it's helpful to try it out and see which one that you like the best. If you're burning on something really hard or bone, then you're probably going to want to use a wire tip burner because it just gets hotter. But I like the solid point just because it allows me to get a little bit smoother shading overall. So putting in our vein structure. And then we can come back and add a touch of a kind of a border. Doesn't have to be exact because I'm going to burn around it. So this is a great use of negative space where I'm trying to create kind of the illusion of those veins. Okay. Next, I'm going to burn around those lighter guidelines that I just put in. And you'll notice how much they're going to shrink down with negative space. It helps to make those areas a little bit more chunky to begin with, because once you burn around them, they do seem to shrink down a bit. And if you overburn them, just pull out your handy dandy sharp pointy thing and you can scratch out those highlights again if you need to. You can use an X-Acto knife or an awl. Those are both great for drawing out some of those highlights that you may have accidentally overburned. Definitely turn the wood to suit your hand, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Turning the wood makes a big difference. Sometimes for those lighter values, I will blow on the point just a little bit. This solid point burner does have an adjustable temperature, which is helpful. If you need to make slight temperature adjustments on the fly, you can just kind of blow on the point and that works fine as well. Okay, so there's kind of a rough start to our leaf. Now we can go back over. The more layers that you burn, the smoother your shading will become. So we're going to push those values a little darker. I still want a little highlight there because I think that's pretty neat. But we'll just start pushing these values darker here. Alrighty. See, same thing here. I want to be a little darker towards the center of that stem. And then you just pull the gradient out. So Vivian, you said something that there's a Godzilla Jr. in your lake. Right between Herman and Godzilla. Oh, your alligator, crocodile. It's 11 feet long, swam right in front of you while you stood on your deck. Oh my goodness. That is a big critter. How's your wood burning coming? Yeah, that sounds pretty scary. An 11-foot long, and I forget if it's a crocodile or an alligator. Boy. All right, so this leaf here, it is tucked behind this one, so we're going to make it a bit darker, and that will make it push back and appear into the distance. It's not very distant, but it helps give us that illusion of space and creates more of a three-dimensional kind of a look to it. Light things pull forward, dark things push back. Generally. There's always exceptions to that rule, but for what we're dealing with right now, that's the rule we're going to go with. Alligators in Florida. Gotcha, Vivian. Okay, we're going to push these values a bit darker. And you can see that by changing the value here with this leaf darker and that one lighter, now we get that beautiful overlapping appearance, and it creates a nice sense of depth. That dark leaf will just push back a little bit there. Oh, Terry says when you lived in Florida, they pulled out a 14-foot alligator. Oh boy. That's crazy. Lisa, you're burning while listening to the stream tonight. All of a sudden everything went quiet. Oh dear. Okay, no, I'm still here. You had a little bit of a, YouTube challenge. Well, glad that you were able to log back in and pick back up here. Glad that you guys are able to, wood burn while listening to the stream. That's very cool. Okay, and we just kind of keep pushing those darks back. We have a little berry here. Some leaf elements. Okay, I'm about out of the screen here, so I'll come back down this way. And we'll come back in and do a lighter vein. Just to give me a little guidance here. I don't want these lines that I'm putting in right now super crazy dark, because as you see here, I'll burn around them. This is really kind of rough sketching here and pretty quick, but you can come back in and fine tune those lines and make them look better. I'm just really trying to get this project done for tonight, so I am kind of rushing a little bit to try to get most of this blocked in. Vivian, your burning is slowed down because many things happening lately. Yeah, the holidays are always seems to be like you have all these grand plans and then things just get kind of crazy. Night Owl saw on YouTube a video of a 14-foot alligator crossing somebody's yard. Oh boy, that is wild and very big. All right, so I want to kind of tuck this circle element behind the leaves. So we're just going to darken those a little. And then pull that gradient upward. And if it's not dark enough, we can go back in and do another layer. And then blend it in with that beautiful gradient. Okay, we're getting there, guys. All right, I think I'm gonna jump to a little bit of the black background for a smidgen. And I'm just gonna start right here, which means I'll probably have to move. Now I'll come down here. So I don't have to move everything. Wow, alligators can climb fences. That's pretty crazy. Terry says, no matter how many times I watch, never ceases to amaze you. Aw, thank you. Yeah, we'll just keep on going here, but thank you. Yeah, I feel a little bit rusty having not burned for the last 2 weeks. Especially going from, October I was burning about 4 to 5 hours a day. And now I haven't burned at all in the last week. So my hand is a little bit kind of out of shape, I think. Although the rest was good as well. Vivian says alligators can gallop like horses. Wow, I did not know that either. I'm okay not being an alligator expert. That would mean I'd have to probably be near them a fair bit. That is very interesting. Lisa. Aw. Thank you. Trying to get close there without getting some overburn. That's a good trivia question, Larry. You're saying hopefully alligators don't run as fast as horses. Okay, trivia people, how fast can alligators run or gallop or move? If anybody knows or wants to look that up, you're welcome to, because I don't know how fast gators are. Hopefully slower than I can run. This one seems to be doing really well with the heat. Oh boy, Lisa, up to 35 miles an hour in short bursts. That is quite terrifying. That's faster than I thought they would be. Vivian says the smaller they are, the faster they are. Oh boy. Night Owl says they don't turn very good while running. I would have to believe that too. They're kind of long. I don't think they could turn on a dime very well. Thank goodness they don't fly. That would be creepy. Or outright terrifying as well. Yay, we're about to close up this section. Okay. We're getting there, guys. That one's doing really well with the black background. So let's take a look at this leaf here. I think I might have to turn this just a little bit. That'll help. To get in a better position for that leaf. Larry says that only 7 to 9 miles an hour on land. Huh. I don't know. Either way, I would not want to be chased by an alligator in any case. Okay, so I'm looking here. I really want this leaf to push behind my circle element. So that is going to be our darkest element here, our darkest value. So sometimes you have to kind of pick and choose which element you want to pull forward and which one you want to push back. So in this case, I want the leaf to push farther back behind that circle. Oh, short bursts of 35 miles an hour for an alligator. Whoa. That's crazy. All right, let's put in some soft shading on our leaf. Something to give us a little bit of a value to work with here. A nice light bit of shading, and then we'll kind of go back over and add more layers to it. Now you can see that I'm leaving a lot of stroke marks here, kind of where the mid-tones go into the lighter areas. I would probably want to rework that and blend that out later, but that just takes a little bit lower temperature and a little more time, and I don't know that yeah, I probably won't have the opportunity to do that on camera. But just to show you that it can be done, so these strong strokes here, just take it and blend it a little more, and then bump these values one more darkness, if that makes sense. It's hard to blend the stroke marks with unburned wood. Usually you will always see the stroke pattern because the wood burner can kind of burnish the wood. The surface of the wood will get polished or indented slightly, it changes the surface of the wood. So if you have completely unburned wood there, it can be a little bit more difficult to get that nice blended light value. But you can blend multiple like different values with the wood burner quite well. Let's see. Oh. They say you read a little bit more about the gators in Google Shorts searches. It says plausible that gators are more likely to run 9 to 11 miles an hour. Wow. Clive says they need to grab prey drinking water. Yep. Yeah, that short burst of them coming out of the water, that's quite impressive. Yep. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, Vivian, I think you're right. They're too lazy to chase or just don't have the ability. You know, the alligators can run up to 35 miles an hour in short bursts.
They can.
That's crazy.
They gallop like dogs.
Well, they said they gallop like horses.
Or, yeah, horses, not dogs.
Yeah.
Some people have them as pets.
I would rather not.
They're kind of cute when they're small.
I guess.
Like a little, it's like they're like about this long.
Uh-huh.
And they like head scratches.
I did not know that either. I guess cute would be maybe a relative term.
That's definitely relative. I find them cute. I think they'd be fun little pets.
Oh boy. Not so sure on that one.
Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. It's warm in here.
It is quite warm.
Oh, having soup is not ideal.
Yeah. I'm not sure how warm it is, but
It's hot.
Yeah, I'm kind of flushed working over this wood burner. Whew.
I do have jazz hands.
You have jazz hands?
Yeah,
oh, now you do. I'm trying to get this project done tonight. We're kind of working our way around between the black background and finishing up these leaves a little bit.
I was going to say, it smells a little smoky in here.
A little bit, yeah. With that black background, it definitely adds a smoky element.
Just a little bit.
I think it's nice, though.
No, I agree. No, I'm her son, not her husband. Close, but not quite.
Good question, Kendale. Sorry. Yeah, I've got 2 sons and taller than me, so. My husband, I think, is still out on the tractor.
No, he's...
Oh, he's in?
He got catted.
Oh, he's with a cat. Oh,
Yep.
that's nice. He's been working all day, so I'm glad he's getting a rest too.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll keep working here.
Hello.
Let's see. Lisa, we have not received any snow yet. We're supposed to.
We got a dusting.
I heard it hitting the glass.
We got a dusting.
Must have been some corn snow.
We got a dusting of it. And that's
A
about
dusting. Will Jr. No, he's just Will. He is the one, the only, the original.
Oh, you can see the smoke on the...
Yeah.
That's a lot of smoke.
A little bit, yeah. This one's doing much better with the black background than the other one.
That's good.
So I'm using the other one for shading. They're the same point, the same burner, but I think sometimes the older points just seem to wear out. They don't hold the heat as well, which can be to your benefit if you need to do softer shading. But
yeah.
Now this one's doing really well with the black background, so I'm kind of just trying to stick with this one here.
Gotcha.
Mina is wondering if we need another session to complete this one. I don't know. We'll see. I have 45 minutes. We'll see what we can accomplish in 45 minutes. I know I love doing that, the fine tuning and the kind of tinkering with it to get the values just right. But if people are tired of seeing Mr. Squirrel here, we can move on and do a color session as well.
We're doing good. A little tired, but good.
Good.
Better than I have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple Thanksgivings ago was not good. It's very bad. So now is better than then.
Now is better than then. Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Larry says, so if you put on a new shading point, will it do the black background better? It might, Larry. Yeah, I'm really kind of frustrated with the point that I normally use for shading. It just seems like it's not getting up to temperature as much, and it could be the burner too. So feel free to kind of experiment with a different point in a different burner. Sometimes the combination, you can kind of switch things around a little bit and see if that might help a little bit.
Well, I think I'm going to run away to my room and open my window.
Okay.
Because it's hot.
Yep, I'm envious because I'm pretty toasty too. All right, enjoy. Thanks for saving me with the cat.
Yep, you're welcome.
Cool beans.
Bye.
Have fun.
Will do.
That's the problem you're having too, Larry. Yeah. I don't know, just if they are tired and kind of worn out or what, but sometimes they're frustrating. Everybody says bye.
Bye. I stay with my mouth full of food.
Uh-huh. All right, well, I'm going to just kind of keep jumping back and forth between the shading point that is operating at a lower temperature for some reason, and the other one that's doing better with the black background. We'll just jump around a bit and make sure that we keep on going here, make some progress. Okay, so a lot of this area behind our little, I'm going to add another berry in here just because. Maybe a third berry. There we go. We have some berries. But we have quite a bit of dark background around here, so we'll kind of outline these. Push these areas back a smidgen. Clive says the smoke gets in your eyes. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a couple things that you can do with that. First of all, I would say, what type of wood are you burning on? Basswood is what I'm working on tonight. It does not smoke nearly as bad as some other woods like pine. Pine goes crazy. Working on an inclined surface helps. My desk is like a drafting table, so I'm working at a 45-degree angle, and that helps the smoke to kind of go up more in front of me instead of trapped underneath my face. So if you're working flat over your work, that smoke's going to come right up underneath. You can also wear you can wear a full face respirator if you want. It gets kind of toasty after a little while, but if you burn a lot of black areas, that can help. Or you can even get some sealed little, even swim goggles, something like that to keep the smoke out of your eyes helps too. Kendall, yep, our family pops, my family pops in here and there once in a while, and you'll hear them in the background, or we'll have cats falling from great heights and landing on the desk, or I'll catch them. It's can be crazy. You'll hear the dog snoring. I certainly don't have a proper studio, so I'm in my living room, and family happens. And I love that you'll hear them in the kitchen and cooking, and sometimes breaking things on occasion. There's a few
Wasn't
stories.
me.
I know. Well, it was you and Dad.
Wasn't me. Didn't do it.
You guys both contributed to the destruction of that
No proof.
beautiful glass lid.
Wasn't me.
And the garbage cans saying, yep. So, for those of you that have been with me for a long time, you've heard all kinds of fun stuff, and it's a hoot. Okay, here's a little fun leaf. We'll just do a gradient there as well. Okay. Night Owl, you get less smoke in your eyes when wearing glasses. Very good. Larry says your problem is you do your wood burning out in your shop. You have heaters in there, but it still gets cold. You're pretty sure that affects your burners. I would say absolutely. That makes it very challenging to work in a cold environment. So yeah, see, I'm just not getting the values that I would like with this one. Here we go, same point, same burner, and much darker. So it could be that that point that I've been using for the longest time may just be a bit worn out and tired, and it might be time for me to retire it and move forward, because I do see that this is working much better to help push that dark values just a touch more. Although, you know, that the point that I have been using for most of the live streams, it seems like I just can't get that dark value that I want. It would be great for light shading for faces and that sort of thing. So I won't throw it away. I ought to put like a little, put it in a Ziploc bag with a label. That would be a good idea. And then I'll know that if I have to do portraits, that would be a good one. Yeah, this is much darker here. Let's see. You guys love Sophie snoring. Yep, she's good at it, I tell you. Not sure. She must be in another room. She usually likes to lay right under my desk and just starts snoring. All right, so here's that burner that's working a bit better. I see a big difference in the black backgrounds. So we'll keep using this one here. Terry, you like to groom your dogs in the garage, and it's pretty chilly there too. I totally understand what you mean. I spent about 2.5 years, my studio is in a garage, so super cold in the winter and very hot in the summertime. It makes it definitely a challenge. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, I am motivated to get this black background done tonight, just to see how it changes the entire design. Just really makes it jump forward at you. Night Owl, you're saying you've been indecisive and lazy since your last project. Oh dear. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard to find that motivation or little push to jump into the next project for sure. Okay. In that case, I like to browse through art and take a look at what some other people are creating and just see if I can't find some inspiration. So I'm going to do a little bit of a crescent shading here on these wee berries. That guy needs to be a little bit more shaded. There we go. And then we have these leaves. Yeah, these remaining leaves here should go together pretty quickly. I'm going to try to burn around the hair strokes that we laid in. Just a nice light value to start with is fine. It doesn't have to be super dark, because we want it to kind of blend in a little bit with that tail fluff. This is a difficult time of year anyway, you know, with the holidays and everything going on. It can be really a challenge to kind of settle in and kind of slow your mind down enough to create art. I find that I need to have some level of peace a little bit in order to create art, and a lot of times that is not possible. And in cases where I have a commission or something that has to be done, I just put on headphones and I close out the rest of the world and get lost in a audio book or music or something like that. And that helps me to stay in my chair and do nothing but burn, which is good for my project, but not so good for the dishes at the end of the day. Vivian, looking great. Love the black backgrounds. You still have problems with running the pen fluidly enough to avoid the stop scritching. That's a good way to put that, yeah. I would say if you have another wood burning tool or two, try to change them out sooner. Perk one sooner, because the more of the buildup that you get on the point, the more it's going to grab a hold of. But yes, that is definitely a challenge, and I totally relate. And I know you did a picture for a coworker, and he sent a picture of it turned into a table. Cool. Lisa, I do have 3 dishwashers, and they do help. But with school and work, they have a bit of their own schedule as well. Let's see. Yeah, you're welcome, Vivian. That's what I really notice when I start getting that grabbing motion, and maybe you've seen this as well. When you first grab the tool and it's really hot, it slides very nicely. But as it starts to cool down and you get a little carbon built up on the end, it starts getting more grabby and more grabby. And if you continue to work with that point, at one point, the wood that's hot and the burner that has junk on it, they're not going to slide, they're going to stick. And so I find if I start to feel a bit of resistance and it's not sliding very smoothly, I'll set that burner off to the side and move on to a hotter one. And then go back, and you can tell when it's nice and silky smooth versus when it starts to feel a little resistance. So once you start to feel that resistance, you might switch out to a new hot burner. It means a lot of switching out, but it will create a little bit of a smoother surface in the end. So I'm going to go back over, add another layer in here near the tail fluff, and then pull that gradient out. Oh, Larry, wow, 50 hours on that burning. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So again, I really want to push this darker value, push those leaves back. You can kind of pick and choose which leaves you want to pull forward and which ones you want to push back. Anytime you have those veins that are light, try to make them tuck back too, just a little bit. That'll look more natural. That's awesome, Larry. Night Owl, yes, definitely you've noticed that resistance as well, especially with the black backgrounds or anytime you're burning. Sometimes that's the time to set your burner down and go grab a cup of coffee or some tea or stretch your legs. Let that burner regain its temp. And I've noticed that resistance with a wire tip burner as well. In that case, I'm usually burning too hot and I just get carbon residue on the point. Okay, let's see here. 30. Okay, let's zoom out and take a little bit of a there we go. That's what it's gonna look like. It'll be better. So we're just cruising right along here. I'll zoom back in and we'll keep going on that. Ooh, you know, while I'm thinking about it, I do want to darken up that eye a little because I talked about that earlier. So let's take a look at that here. And it's easy to start into a project and then as time goes by, you realize that you need to kind of do some modifications with value especially. So we're going to darken this up just a little. You can hold your breath with me if you want. Thanks, Mina. This is a good time also to adjust the shape of that circle. Sometimes I don't always get them exactly round and I have to kind of go back and try to fix them. And then we're going to darken up the shadow in the eye. Here too. Oh, I like that. That's looking better. Okay. Terry says, now that I have the black background that dark, am I going to go back and tweak some of the areas on the squirrel? I would, yes. Now that we have a little bit more of that super dark value, I do think that it needs some general overall adjustments. Okay. So let's keep working on that. And once I get this black background in place, we'll have a few minutes to kind of take a look at it and see what areas that I would adjust and kind of modify. Vivian, you have a wire burner, but it has 2 ports. There you go. Cool. That would work. Yeah, just keep changing those out for a toasty, fresh point. These bevels are so fun to burn. I love kind of skating along that edge there, and it just looks so nice. Nigel, you didn't realize you were holding your breath. Yeah, something like that I definitely have to. And my lines aren't very good. They're a little bit wavery. I need to turn the wood and get closer to kind of clean that up a little bit. But that's hard to do on camera because you'd see nothing but the back of my head. Yep, definitely. There's a lot of things you gotta kind of hold your breath for there. See, I can start to feel it kind of having a little bit more resistance to the drag. Yeah, it's getting really, really difficult now to push. So I'll set that one off to the side and let it warm back up. Let me see what I can do here with this one. Another thing that you might be aware of if you're struggling to get a good black background, your point may not be completely flat. That's something that I've found accidentally, that I've bent points just a little bit, and instead of a lot of the surface area matching, it'll be like this, and you'll only get a little bit of contact. So if you're still struggling with those black backgrounds, also take a look at the shape of the point. Sometimes it may not be completely flat on the bottom, and in that case you might want a newer point. That might be part of my challenge with this one too. It might have a little bit of a bow to it. Okay. Let us see, we still have some more leaves that we can blend while everything is warming up. Oh, that's another thing that I was going to say. Briefly, some of the points that are manufactured, like the shading point, here's a good example, can sometimes have some grooves on the bottom of there. If you can see those two lines, they stick up just a little bit. Walnut Hollow, over the past few years, have had some manufactured that have that line in there, and it's raised, and it can adjust how you burn. So if you have a point that has that line on there, you can kind of hit that with a light sanding pad and knock that down and smooth it out. And if you're wood burning and you keep catching the edges of your burner and it's making it uneven on the surface of the wood, turn your burner off, make sure it's cool, and then use a slight sanding pad to kind of rough off, sand down any rough edges that might be there. And that helps as well. You betcha, Terry. A little bit more blending on those leaves, and I think we're on the last leaf. Yay! Okay, and we can keep kind of working around our tail fluff. And make it darker as it goes behind the tail. Hi, Donald. Donald is asking if I sign my work somewhere on the piece. Yes. For smaller pieces like this, I'll just turn the burning over and I'll put my name on the back. If it's a larger piece or a commission, I'll put my name on the front. That's just kind of my personal take on that. I've mixed it up over the years, but anymore, a lot of my smaller pieces like this are kind of designed as instructional projects for the live streams, and so I don't bother putting my name on the front of them, so that'll go on the back. But larger pieces, I'll put my name on the front. There's a little bit more room for your name, and I don't know, it just feels a little more balanced to me for small ones to put my name on the back. Okay. Got some of this here to do too. Alrighty, let's keep working on this black background. We're getting really close. I do need to get, sorry, spinning everywhere, in here and kind of block those off a little bit. So I can get in with my larger point. But guys, we're getting pretty darn close here on this one. Okay, Clive is asking, when you have finished burning, what spray do you use to seal the back to stop it running? I will, with the smaller pieces like this, especially anything that I add color to, I will add clear coat. I usually do 3 coats of a brush-on water-based polyacrylic. Usually a semi-gloss or a satin. Gloss is just a little bit too shiny for my taste. That water-based polyacrylic also comes in a spray format if you prefer. I like the brush-on finish for the most part, unless I have a lot of heavy color that might run or bleed, and then I'll go with the spray-on finish. And I will do 3 coats on the front, the back, and the sides, so I seal the entire project. In some parts of the country, the humidity is quite high, and if you just seal the front, it can, the moisture can reach the back or the sides, and it can swell and cause some problems that might cause the front of the burning that's been clear coated to kind of crack and otherwise be a bit ornate. So I would say if you clear coat a project, make sure you clear coat all sides equally, front, back, and sides. Would be my recommendation. Yeah, with certain types of color, definitely go with the spray-on finish because it can make the colors run. For larger custom commissions, I generally don't add color and I don't clear coat them because they do sell those pieces at a higher rate, more as fine art, and in that case I'll leave them unfinished. So over the years, if I need to touch them up and add, kind of balance out the values over time, I can. But once it's been clear coated or you add color, I can't go back and change it or modify it with my burning tool. So I just go ahead and clear coat it, and it is what it is. So let's see, Night Owl is asking, do you mark if they are from a live stream when you sign the back? I don't actually. That's a good thought. A lot of times the backs of those projects are a little bit crazy from the little tutorials and lessons that I talked to you guys about during the live stream, but I think it's neat. It definitely tells a story. And I'll just kind of put my name on the back somewhere around those markings. But that is an interesting thought to go ahead and add that note on the back. So I'm jumping around a little bit here. Are you not behaving? I guess it's not. Great questions, you guys. I love it. Yeah, definitely if you do clear coating, don't try to go back and modify it, touch it up, or change it with your wood burning tool in the future. I wouldn't even try to sand off that clear coat and modify it. I think that's a little bit dangerous because you don't know how far that clear coat has penetrated into the wood. So it can be a little bit scary. So I'm going to have a hard time getting in this little nook and cranny. I'll do that in a minute. Okay. Terry is asking, have I ever had anyone send a wood burning back to touch up? I have not. That's kind of a relatively new thing that I've done, you know, within the past, less than 10 years. So no, I haven't. I have had some customers and clients take their original wood burnings and place them behind UV museum quality glass to help protect them from light. And I would advise that. That's a good idea. But no, I've not had to touch anything up yet. But I like to offer that to my clients as an option for the future. Because wood burnings, they do fade over time. They fade with light. They kind of soften with age. And I think it's really quite interesting because the medium that we work with has a great parallel to life itself. You know, life is not permanent, and neither is the wood burnings that we create. They change over time, just like we do, and so sometimes you need to go back and maybe touch them up a little bit. Otherwise, you know, it's neat to tell the customers that, you know, your art is a living, or was a living subject, and so it's going to change over time. It's not going to stay the same, just like we don't. So there is some parallels with the impermanence of life, and nothing is going to stay the same for forever, and our art that we create is kind of a representation of that sometimes. So I'm going to get in here and clean this up a little with a smaller point. Probably in here too. This is kind of hard to get to. We are so close on this black background, guys. We are so close. I'm very excited. Oh, let's see. Terry, I'm so sorry. I just need to get like in these little areas here, and you can do that with the normal shading point. That works just fine. You can see I'm burning over fingerprints. That's always fun. So that's another thing that's kind of interesting about wood burning is I try not to ever touch the front of the projects, because inevitably sometimes I do, and then I'm burning along and you burn over your fingerprint, And the oils in that leave a permanent fingerprint in the artwork that is burned on there. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see, we'll go with this one. We are really close here, guys. Night Owl says, even if it's not done, I would consider it close enough to being done. Okay, so yeah, that's my next question for everybody here. I'm going to close out the last of this black background in the next 9 minutes, hopefully. I'll try to hurry. But it's hard to hurry this, otherwise it's going to look kind of splotchy. And it does look pretty splotchy on this side. I'll have to touch it up and reburn it later, but just to give you guys kind of a little bit of a completion viewpoint, I'll do this, and then we'll take a few minutes just to take a look at the overall appearance, the value, and where I would probably make some changes. So let me know, guys. I would say I think I'm ready to move on with this one. I could tinker with it easily for another 2 hours. But I don't know if everybody wants to watch that or if you're ready to move on. Because I know we have some color options coming up as well. Terry, I was thinking the same thing about, yeah, doing that as a signature. I thought that would be pretty cool too. But then, you know, somebody could take that and frame you for murder or something like that. Might not be best to use your fingerprint as the signature piece. You know, your signature on the piece, more specifically. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready to move on to, because this has been 4 weeks that we've been working on Mr. Squirrel. And there's always room for improvement. There really is. We did do a few times where we kind of tweaked some values and pushed and pulled here and there. And as you know, that's one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, all this smoke that you see on camera here, it's going straight up. It's not coming directly into my eyes, just because I'm working more on a 45-degree surface. So close. Oh boy. Terry, that is a great question. Terry's asking if we're going to do a beginner live stream on Monday night. That would be December 1st. That is the first Monday of the month, so I would say yes. We need to do a beginner live stream on December 1st. Thank you for that reminder. Thanks, Clive. We are almost done here. So excited. I've been wanting to see this black background finished for, like you guys, about 4 weeks. Well, we're just coming into the month of December. As far as the beginner live stream on Monday, same time, same place, I could do kind of a holiday themed project. Ah, Lisa is suggesting a poinsettia. That would be beautiful. Yay! Oh my goodness, guys. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Black backgrounds are awesome when they're finished. All right, so let me zoom out here and we'll refocus. We'll take a look at Mr. Squirrel. I can't quite get farther away, but here, I can put it up here and make me bigger. I'm gonna hide though. Yay. All right, so there, it's backwards, but you can see now that it just really makes the whole element jump forward. I love it. I love the scalloped edge with this piece. It just happened to be one that I had available. So a lot of fun on this one. Many different textures. As far as an overall areas of improvement, I definitely need to shade underneath this crest here a little bit more. Push the values of the leaves a little darker as it tucks under all around here. I think it is lacking just a touch. I also want to darken up this area around Mr. Squirrel. That'll pull him forward, push that circle element back a bit. The acorn cap is just kind of roughed in for now. It needs some softer shading, pulling some shading down on the acorn here as well, some midtones. And then underneath the squirrel's chin, where he has that acorn, that needs to be darkened up a bit as well. So just looking at it from a distance, those are some areas that I know that I would want to change. So I'm so glad I got the background done. And we got the leaves done too. So, okay, I will, Night Owl says magic carpet acorn under the squirrel. That would be fun. So I will, today's Friday, I'll try to get together a couple ideas for you guys to vote on in Mighty Networks. That's our paid platform. It's kind of like Patreon, only much, much better. So if you're interested in joining our paid platform where you get access to this pattern for free, well, I mean, you paid with your paid membership, you get this pattern, and then you get all the other patterns that we've taught on the live streams, discounts, great community, and so many more cool things. Take a look there, and then you also get a chance to vote on our next project. So take a look this weekend for options. I usually do about 3 options to choose from for the beginner live stream on Monday. The following live stream on Friday, we will be working on a color session. So I know we'll be adding color to the steampunk themed peacock, and that'll be that glitter paint, the Yuli colors. If you haven't seen those, definitely tune in for that. And then we'll see what time we have, if I can incorporate another color session at the same time. So, all right, awesome. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Alrighty, good night.